Your product, faced with hard luck. Faced with hard luck. Card shots, thieves, murderers with hard luck. Pimps and card shots, thieves, murderers with hard luck. Your product, faced with hard luck. Faced with hard luck. Card shots, thieves, murderers with hard luck. Pimps and card shots, thieves, murderers with hard luck.
Good morning and welcome to the Hard Luck Show. You already know who it is. Big Lux with the Indian and Old Blue Eyes on sound.
That's right. That's right. And today you are being introduced to an amazing business woman.
Beautiful.
And, come on. It goes without saying. She's glowing. All of us just got 10% hotter because she walked into the room.
Yep.
Right?
Ratings going up.
Jealousy, envy everywhere because who we have is Jessica Cruz, who is the person who brought the vegan street fair to Los Angeles and to New York, which is known as the world's biggest vegan event in the world.
Nice.
In the universe, right?
Welcome,
Everywhere.
Miss Cruz.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yes,
That
right.
was, that
coming
was a
in.
welcome.
Get on that mic so
Yes,
we can really
yes.
get you. Don't be scared of that one. And first of all, just so everybody knows, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, let 'em know.
Chumahan, his wife, right? His law partner, Sarah Ovando, she's the one that said, you need to bring in this lady. How did you start the vegan street fair?
So I went vegan about 11 years ago, and I'm from New York originally. I went back home, and New York was a brand new city to me as a vegan, and I really wanted to try as many places as possible. And I tried to use all the apps that existed at that time, and nothing was doing the job. And so I started creating my own app. I'm not an app developer. I just said, fuck it. I'm going to try this thing. And long story short, 3 years into app development, the app went away. And I had this huge list of vegan and vegan-friendly places in LA that I thought to myself, even if I lived here for 10 years, I could never try all this food. So fuck it. Let me just create an event where they all came to me instead.
Were you already trained in being an event planner?
Nope.
How did you do this?
I just set my mind to it, and I said I'm going to learn everything I need to learn about running events and permitting and websites and marketing and graphics, and I did everything from scratch from the beginning.
Because you're sitting across from maybe the premier event guy too, as well as a brand manager from Cookies, Steve Lucky Luciano. We just got done with Amazing Event and Cookies, right?
Absolutely.
Right.
But events are I'm scared of events. Like, those things are draining.
Yes.
Is that true?
Yeah, they're
Why?
Yeah, and real nerve-wracking, and there's so much logistical stuff too. It's I personally don't care for doing events. We have to do them and have to put them together, but nothing to this size. I mean, you're having to deal with just so much. I mean, it's a tough business.
Mm-hmm.
So how long has it been going on? This
Well, so I think where we capped it off is when I interjected was that you were getting ready to say, okay, so you had this long list of vegan foods, vegan stuff.
What year are we talking about? That this is
exactly.
happening?
So the first one was in 2015. So I had started all the prep work for it in 2014. I was a brand new event at the time, and you are not wrong in saying events are hard. I mean, there's lots of pieces that you never will see.
Like what?
A good event organizer is handling, permitting, police presence, staffing, security, and then that's just logistics on the event. Then you've got to get people to the event, and then you got to deal with people on social media and their commentary and all their complaints and concerns and
set up the
whole
finance, the booth, the this, the that,
Yeah.
and then the day of the event. Nothing seems to be working out as planned.
Is that
Everybody's,
true, Jessica?
I don't have electrical. I need this. Where you don't have that? Where is that? Like,
Yes.
I mean,
tons of fires to put out 24/7. If you have a really good crew, then they can handle it. But for the most part, every single thing that you could think is going to go right, you have to kind of have it in the back of your mind that it's not.
Okay. Now, I got to think that everybody in LA thinks that they can do a vegan street fair.
Ah, yes, this is true.
Right. And everybody, but somehow you managed to, how many, it's a full mile, the street fair?
Yeah, so Vegan Street Fair is 1 mile worth of streets. We get 200 vendors from all across the world. 60,000 people from every single corner of the globe plan their trip to Vegan Street Fair every year. It is such a beautiful sight to see.
And where is it at usually?
North Hollywood every
North
year.
Hollywood every year, right.
Yep.
Okay, and there's, listen, when I went to hers, I don't know, it was like maybe, when was it that you met my wife?
at least 4 years ago now, maybe 2017. Oh God, 4 or 5. I don't even know time
There was
anymore.
a 24-hour fitness near there.
Oh, yeah.
We went to her vegan street fair covers
He spent 4 hours doing cardio before they went to the street fair.
I went there. I had some fucking vegan conchas and some fucking vegan fucking burritos and some pizza and shit. And then I hit the 24-hour fitness and tried After, dude, by the time I left there, I felt like I'd had Thanksgiving 3 times. Because I had worked out before, ate, calmed down, worked out again, had to change of clothes in the car, came back out. I'm not lying, bro.
He's like, I'm burning these calories.
Oh, yeah, because my wife at the time with her sister Liz, they were running a vegan makeup. They run a vegan makeup company. Everything's not animal, like they don't test on animals, and it's not made out of red beetle shells and all this other bullshit that they do to animals. It's all vegan makeup. So that's why they were at the event. So we were going to be there all day. So that's why I brought a change of clothes. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's not that weird when you put it in that.
Exactly, right.
that makes sense.
And so, okay, and I'm, and then this is like a real small detail, but how do you figure, what's the porta potty like equation? How do you know how many porta potties to have and how many people per porta potty?
This is such a great question. Luckily, the health department has sort of rules. So they say they have a chart and they say if you have this amount of people, this is how many porta potties you need. So we just go off of that. They've done the math for us, thankfully. So one less thing for me to have to stress out about.
So why didn't your vegan street fair just die on arrival? Like, how did it grow and continue to be this huge thing that you've created?
That's a great question. So back in 2015, when we started, there were only 2 other vegan events happening in LA, and they were both paid. So you had to pay to get in, and I wanted to do everything different. So because I came from New York originally, I wanted to have a street fair, which is very iconic and very true to New York City. You know, you walk down the same street every single day, and all of a sudden, boom, there's a street fair the next day. And
right.
It's like you can spend hours there because you tripped on it, and that's what I wanted for vegan street fair. I wanted it to be like, this wasn't here yesterday, this is dope, and for people to stop and to enjoy it. So when this whole entire thing was, coming to be, I just think people had never seen it before. And they were like, this is a free event. This is X amount of vendors there. It's all vegan. We marketed the shit out of it. Like, we hit every single grassroots piece that we could hit. Social media, everything. TikToks. TikTok wasn't happening at that time. It was Periscope.
What the hell is
you
that?
Fucking remember that?
I thought that was something that's on a
It's like on
submarine.
It was something really weird.
I thought that was something on a
Facebook.
Yeah, it was like Facebook, Periscope, and Instagram were the
MySpace.
thing. Yeah, I mean, I might as well hit the MySpace. So we just tackled it as best we could, and I think people were just really excited about something new happening in LA. Nothing like it had ever happened.
Let me
Right.
back up here a second
Go
to
ahead.
get this right.
Yeah.
You're from New York.
Yeah.
You start developing this in New York.
I had gone back to New York to finish my degree at NYU, so I was already living here for about 6 years.
Okay.
So it was a temporary 4-month
Okay.
kind of thing.
A hiatus.
So-
a sabbatical.
When you developed it, you were out here, though, when you finally came up with all the...
Correct.
and you kicked it off here first in North Hollywood.
Yes.
And that was, what, 2015?
2015.
2015.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. So what starts happening after the first one, or the first one and going forward? Was the first one pretty successful?
So the first one was half successful, half not successful, because we tried to do this model that Taste of Chicago had been doing for 30 plus years, which is food tickets. You
Right.
can only buy food using food tickets, which is a great concept because no money's being exchanged.
Right.
People will spend more because there's no refunds.
Right.
And it's a cooler way, I think, to get people engaged. So we took on that same model at that time, and it was a disaster.
Because?
We didn't have enough people to sell. We didn't anticipate 10,000 people showing up to our first event.
How many did you think were coming?
We bare minimum thought 5,000.
And you would have been stoked at that.
Would have been fine with 5,000.
Instead, they fucking charged the gates and knocked everything down. 10,000.
It was bananas. And we only had 44 vendors at the time. People were shoulder to shoulder with these tickets in their fucking hands. And that's not even the worst of it. It started raining in Los Angeles, which is
never
pretty
does.
rare in and of itself.
Right.
And then it started hailing.
What?
I shit you not. We have 10,000 people on the street, and it just starts hailing on them. It was the craziest thing I've ever seen. And hello, like my first welcome to the vegan event scene.
Right.
That was
Wow.
it. That was our intro.
And then it just continued to grow?
People loved it. We kept tweaking
Even
it,
though
making
it
it
was
bigger.
even though you guys had some problems,
Even though we had
people
some
were still down.
Because we convinced them that we had more staff to handle the tickets. And we did, but it was still a shit show. So 2016, we expanded. We did better with tickets. And then the third year, I was like, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm just going
Right.
to do straight, buy from the vendors,
Yeah.
and keep it that way, which brings up issues, right? Because the tickets are a way to monetize. And now you have no monetization point
Right.
on tickets. So that's the thing about events is you're constantly learning and constantly changing and having to be flexible and open with whatever factors hit you.
Right. How did you become vegan?
So on my second wedding anniversary, my ex-husband took me to SeaWorld, which, everybody loves SeaWorld, and I was...
We all did love SeaWorld until Blackfish.
Blackfish. And Blackfish was after I went vegan, so that was like a whole...
Right.
Did y'all
So
see
you...
that?
Yeah, I did. You went to... Yeah. So you went to SeaWorld.
Yep.
Tell me what happened.
So I
you
went
saw
to SeaWorld.
Shamu.
Yeah, we swam with the dolphins.
We'll get to the Blackfish in a second, old Blue Eyes. Let her tell her story. This is her time. It's the Jessica Cruz show.
Oh
Go
my
ahead.
God, that has a nice ring to it. So I swam with the dolphins. We took photos and posted it.
Did the dolphins behave themselves?
Well, yeah, they have to. They're all trained.
Right.
So it was a lovely experience for me, and I was in the moment. I thought I was connecting with these dolphins. I posted about it. And a friend of mine who's not vegan at all was like, hey, just so you know, those animals don't want to be there. And I was like, that's bullshit. I was completely drinking the Kool-Aid at the time, and I was like, SeaWorld does great things. Let me prove it to you. So I spent hours Googling SeaWorld and all this shit, and my mind was blown. The stuff that I learned about orcas and just any kind of marine animals in those few hours fucked me up. Do you know that they're so smart that they ram their heads against the wall to try to kill themselves?
Yeah,
because they have to get out of it, and they're like, how do I do this? And they will do that actively, just pushing their heads again. I hate to make this shit graphic, but I mean, this is the point.
Yeah,
this is the point of my story. I learned that they're on antidepressants. I learned that they do all kinds of horrible things to those animals.
Wow, they're on antidepressants.
Yeah, because they're so smart and they know what's happening to them, but they just can't vocalize it so that we understand it. So from that minute, I mean, I was a mess.
We understand it enough to put them on antidepressants.
And
then we put them in sea prison.
Correct.
All right, go ahead.
Correct. Yeah. So from that moment on, I just it was like an overnight flip, and I said, I never want another animal to suffer for my enjoyment ever again. And it was just overnight.
And then it was just
couldn't do
plastic shoes after that.
Yeah, totally. Plastic shoes.
Pineapple leather, right? Pineapple leather.
People do that kind of stuff.
I
It's
had
pretty
pineapple
cool.
leather
Yeah.
fucking belt. Lasted about 10 minutes, but I had a pineapple
But you had
leather
one.
belt.
You
Started eating it.
Right.
You got hungry in the car
I made
and started
salsa.
eating it, yeah.
I made a chunky
Yeah.
salsa with it. So, okay, so you're from New York. So, what specific Latina are you? Like, are you from?
I'm Puerto Rican.
Puerto
Puerto
Rican.
Rican from the
I'm
Bronx.
not gonna.
You're not gonna make
could-
a
I
assumption?
could. I
Were you
usually-
gonna guess?
No, I knew.
You knew?
Yeah, you're Cruz.
Right.
You know.
Look at you.
Wow.
How do you know? What is
That's-
that?
Because she
look at
looks
this guy.
I lived in New York. I've dated some Puerto Rican girls. I know. I mean,
Oh.
you're classic Puerto Rican. Like,
Which
you have
means what?
she just has the whole look.
Yeah.
I wasn't confused at all. And Cruz is dead giveaway.
Cruz is dead, which is funny because Cruz is my grandmother's last name. When I got divorced, I chose her name to take. I feel like I'm a Cruz.
You feel more
Yeah.
connected to Abuelita.
100%. Because in a lot of times in Latinx culture, your grandmother's like your second mom.
Right.
If you were walking around in New York, people would automatically know you're Puerto Rican, right?
100%. But here they don't
Okay. See?
at all.
Well, I get it, but I also get New York. I get it. Yeah,
Yeah.
I lived out there, and I've been around a lot of Puerto Rican people. So if you would have told me something else, I'd be surprised.
Huh?
Yeah.
You knew.
Yeah.
That's
All
a
right.
shocker.
Yeah.
Jessica Cruz, classic Puerto Rican, from New York, comes to L.A. Vegan street fair. She heard about the sad Xanax-laden orcas. She's like, that's it. I'm not going to eat another animal. Hold on. Go ahead. What?
I just wanted to before we go too far into it,
Yeah.
because listen, you're not even you're married into a culture that busts your chops about you not eating meat. Oh, I don't know. About
Yeah, take
Puerto
it
Rican,
from
like
here.
Cuchi frito and all that. Come on,
man,
come on. You're not
yeah.
eating like fucking chicharrón and what's
The
up?
first,
What's up
wait,
with
wait.
that?
The,
Arroz con pollo.
the first family gathering where you had to come out of the closet. Tell us what happened.
Oh, you're gonna die. You're gonna shrivel up.
Tell us the
Man.
truth.
Tell
What
What
was
they
the,
tell you to
Yeah.
get so that they can try and get you back on
what
board?
was the setting? What were you doing?
Yeah. So at the same time that I was in New York for those 4 months, I went to Thanksgiving at my grandmother's house. Mama, right? Mama. And
Mama Cruz.
Mama Cruz. And the table was very small, and they were doing a giant turkey, of course. They brought this big turkey. The turkey is as big as the table. So I
Right.
couldn't get away from it. And
Butterball.
I'm pretty fresh in the vegan lifestyle, so when you're just newly in it, everything just fucks with your head. So I'm just looking at this bird just messed up. And my grandmother's husband says to me, why are you doing this stupid shit in Spanish, of course? Right. Why are you doing this
How do you say
shit?
that in Spanish? What is that?
¿Por qué tú estás haciendo esta mierda? Right?
Yeah, mierda.
Yeah,
¿Por qué?
Like, ¿por qué? Yo no entiendo, right?
¿Qué es la problema?
Right. So I was put on the spot, but I wasn't deterred by it. I was just like, look, I don't ever preach to anybody because it's just not my gig. I'm like, it just feels better for me. I don't want to hurt any animals. Like, really kept it very chill. And this fool tells me, you know what? I'd rather die miserable and happy eating animals than eat this shit. And I was like, wow. Okay, thanks. Mind you, this is my first family gathering ever. It got way worse after that because people are just brutal.
Right.
And then a sad story, 2 or 3 years later, my grandmother's husband died of a heart attack in front of her. And I was like, you know what, sir? That's the shit. Because you can sit here all day and say, like, this is how I want to live. Who cares if I die? It's on me. And all that stuff is very true. Do what it is that you need to do. But when you're not thinking of your loved ones and the fact that they can deal with it after the fact for something that maybe could prolong your life,
Right.
People just don't think in those terms. They just,
You didn't say this at the memorial, did you?
Hail to the no, Jesus Christ. I don't even ever talk about this story because it makes me feel so bad for grandmother, But
Right.
it's like,
Well, it's your love for your grandma that makes you feel this way.
of course, man.
Right,
Like,
of course.
Traumatized my little grandma.
Right. So now that vegan street fair is big, you have, she was the featured article in Shout Out LA. One thing that I looked at your Instagram and I noticed that you had a health journey.
Yes.
So Miss Cruz was, how much heavier were you?
I was 200 pounds for about 10 years.
Think about that, my friend.
I'll show you pictures actually while we're talking about it.
Yes.
Yeah, I was 200 pounds, and that was as a vegan because for anybody who doesn't know this, veganism is not about health. It is not a diet. It is a full lifestyle that has...
Man, say that again.
I mean, it has everything to do with just what you're intaking and what you're consuming in your media and, things like SeaWorld. You're not eating anything. It's, you're not eating the fucking animals, but you're paying for someone to enslave them, right?
Potato chips and beer, that's vegan.
Right. So,
And Steve and Steve, we met that redheaded dude, right?
Yeah, Mike.
Guy was huge.
What was Mike's last name? I'll blast him right now.
I don't remember his last name.
From 454 Cannabis Company.
Right. Huge guy, built like a 2-liter bottle with a bunch of hair, like a red shag on it. Guy looked swamp ass kind of looking dude.
Yeah.
And
swearing up and down.
Right.
Go ahead. What was he telling
And
me?
he was telling us that he's like, I might be fat on the outside, but I'm vegan. So I'm real healthy on the inside. So what he was telling us is that if you went through about like 1.5 foot of blubber inside, you would see a healthy stomach or something like that. So your expertise, why don't you tell us?
So the way I would explain that is really just veganism isn't quote unquote the healthiest diet or anything like that if you were just to do a plant-based diet, but it doesn't have cholesterol. So kind of by definition, yes, it's healthier because you're not going to clog your arteries with cholesterol in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So, yeah.
Wow,
Transformation is amazing, right?
Wow.
Isn't that nuts? Yeah,
That's
80 pounds.
awesome.
80 pounds
80
in 10
pounds.
months. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Right.
So I just did I don't know if you care to see it.
He does. Don't let him fool you.
It's
Guy's
pretty
doing the
crazy.
slow creep on you. Trust and believe that.
So the point is, veganism isn't about this. I was a fat vegan and now I'm not a fat vegan.
How do you go from a fat vegan to a thin vegan or a fitter body vegan?
I just chose not to eat processed, fried, or sweets. I mean, it's just like a regular diet at the end of the day. You can be vegan in multiple different ways. What I like to say with veganism is it's a liberation movement at the end of the day, right? The whole point of veganism is to liberate animals.
Right.
And much like all of the other causes that we have to liberate people and marginalized folks, it's like you can look any type of way to come support Black lives. You can look any type of way to support animals. You can look any type of way to support women, right? You don't have to look skinny or whatever. That's the argument that people always use. Like, you're fat. How are you a good representation of veganism? It's like, you think the animals give a fuck what I look like as long as I'm not eating them? What does it matter?
Right. Yeah, it's true.
Man, that's a good point.
It's a great point. I'm glad you brought it up. I'm not vegan. I'm vegetarian, but I was pretty vegan for about a year and a half, right? And I remember me and Chuman having a talk, and it was early on. And I hadn't really played with the idea of it, but I was starting to think, you know what? And it was through me watching videos and the way animals are being treated and all that. And I remember telling Chuman, here's some set of ideas that I'm having that are bothering me, and here's some health things about it as well. And I remember Chuman was like, bro, if it's about your health, you'll go back to eating. You'll go back to eating meat.
Yes.
If it's not about something bigger than that, if it's not something more than that or deeper than that, then you're going to go back to eating meat. And I remember for that year and a half, I went back to eating not for any reason having to do with vegan. It was some other things. But I remember for that year and a half, it wasn't about health. I mean, yeah, maybe there's health benefits that were going to come from it, but it was really about harming other living things on the planet. Just them paying the price for me to eat them or whatever the fuck. And I didn't want to eat anything with a face. And I didn't really have a bunch of struggles in that year and a half with meat. I made a conscious decision because I had lost a bunch of weight. I felt like I needed protein. And now I'm vegetarian. I'm not vegan. I eat egg whites. But I have to say that, like, when he said that, it kind of like, really the majority of it, I was the way you kind of put it, like, anybody can live without weight. Vegan is about the animal.
Now I'm going to ask you a question. Let's say Star Trek, Next Generation, 25th century, they are able, without harming an animal, to grow, and somebody eats that steak in a kitchen. Is that
I mean, I think it depends. I think it's because of how they cultivate it. Like if they use cells from
right?
But if you were to ask me,
5th century calling us to tell us to stop talking about them. Go ahead. But if you could do it without using an animal cell derived from an
At
animal,
all.
potentially it could be vegan.
yeah, if it has no animal byproducts in it, yes, for sure. I mean, that's my own opinion. Other people could disagree, because I think that if I don't know.
I agree with you.
What is it being made? What is it actually?
Right. So we'll leave it there, but I do, because Steve knows I can go down a rabbit hole on these things. But the issue
But
is,
you want a little peach tree. You want one of those. You want to grow fucking prime ribs and be able to eat them.
so I was thinking about what you said, and that is this, right? If the movement is really about not harming a living thing.
Yes.
Right.
Okay. And if at some time, without using cells from a slaughtered something from 200 years ago, okay, and I'm going to leave the issue if it died on its own and then they froze it. Okay, I'm not going to touch that one because that's even
It's
crazier.
a different one, yeah.
But let's just say they could create the cell in a lab. So no animal was actually harmed. Okay? Then from that, they could make like a steak tree, right? And the tree would grow and then steaks would come off like pears.
Right.
And you could just go out and cut a steak off.
And go grill it in the house.
I mean,
You know what? I feel like I'm of the camp that's vegan.
I'm with you.
I feel like it is because nothing suffered.
Right,
There's no exploitation,
right.
and so why wouldn't it be?
I agree with you. Now I'm going to ask you another question.
Go for it.
Miss Cruz, Professor Cruz, right? Vegan Street Fair, biggest motherfucking vegan thing in the world. Here we got it right here. What about in the news, not too long ago, they found in a glacier, wall of ice, a woolly mammoth that had died but had been frozen. No human involved. It's dead. The scientists defrosted it and they cut a few steaks from it and they ate it. Is that vegan?
No.
Wow. Steve, what do you think?
It's not vegan.
Sean, oh Blue Eyes, what do you think?
Nah.
But they didn't kill the animal.
But you could use that same argument for anything, whether it's in a sheet of ice or not, right?
Well, you win. You're right.
That means they'd have a bunch of cows that got hit by trucks over on one side of the thing. Be like, these are all vegan cows, you guys.
Right, these are the vegan ones.
Right. Okay.
Then all of a sudden they start falling off the trucks during transport. Be like, it fell off. I don't know.
Like farm
About
with
600 of them escaped off the edge of this cliff.
It's like a farm set up right on a railroad. Right. But what I have noticed in LA, right, is that Estevan Oreo, right, LA Original Tacos. He
Now,
has
I need to talk about Estevan Oil for 1 second though,
Go ahead.
and not in a bad way.
Go ahead, please.
My buddy, he dropped some weight, started getting healthy. He went vegan. There was a lot of issues with his health having to do with his diet. Big year. Well, he kind of like cleaned it up, got a little bit lean. But I've watched over like the last year, he's one of these guys that, yeah, now that it's vegan, I can just fucking pile it on.
Right.
You know, we go to Crossroads. It's the 2 pastas and the deep fried cigars and the this and that. And I've seen him kind of put a little bit more weight on. I've seen him have to deal with some more issues.
Right.
And I'm trying to explain to him, listen, bro, vegan doesn't mean that it's healthy, man. And anything in large consumption is gonna be too much, you know. And you bring up a good point. You always say, Chuman, you go, it's not news. Everybody knows you should be eating primarily vegetables and drinking a lot of water. Like innately, you know that shit. You know what I'm saying? And I don't see a lot of that with him. So, I mean, it just goes back to that thing I think you're saying. Like, I really like the point you made about it. Like, and then to watch you change yourself, change your physical structure. And let me ask you this: was your physical was like the consciousness of what was going on with animals and everything around you? Did that bring you to a consciousness of your own health? Was it that type of a thing, or
No,
not?
straight up and down. I got divorced, and I was like, "Oh,
Yeah.
she's back out here
Right.
on the market,
Right.
Got you.
and she better do something." Because I wasn't always a big person.
Right.
I cheered most of my life. I was
Cheerleading?
I was a cheerleader forever.
Top of the pyramid?
No, I was always on the bottom. Believe it or not.
Really?
Strong legs. But I did a show in 2008 called American Gladiators, based on, well, y'all know American Gladiators.
Right.
I was a contestant on that show, and my story was that I had lost weight to get to the place I was. So this is now my second time losing weight. I've been there before.
Sure.
I've done that already. So I was
Sure.
always little, and then I became a personal trainer. Right, and my ex-husband is a wonderful human being. Like, we still co-parent very well, and we love each other.
Right.
So
Of
I don't want to
course.
take anything away from him.
Sure.
But he didn't make it easy for me. Because every day I'd be like, "Bro, help me eat better," and we just couldn't do it together.
Right.
Yeah, but
got
if
it.
you got like hotter, then you would leave.
That maybe
How do I
that's
keep
why.
you? I gotta
Maybe
keep
that's
you
why.
trapped in the prison of fat.
That's probably what happened. That's
Okay.
probably why he was like, "Here's some more donuts."
You were
babe.
like, if you're gonna
Right.
free it, then I'm gonna be it.
Right.
Let's go.
"Let's go." So I was pretty miserable for about 10 years.
Oh, that's terrible.
I know.
Now
And
you understand why the orcas are smashing their heads.
listen to me. I get it now.
Right.
It all makes sense.
Right.
So I just decided, fuck it, I'm not doing this anymore. So it was like I could still be a vegan, and I can still enjoy I'm going to Crossroads tomorrow. But I just with a different mindset. I'm not going to eat everything under the fucking sun. I'm
Right.
going to be mindful of when I do that. And I work out, I have a trainer 3 days a week. I'm in the gym just busting my ass, and I just can't let it slip. I can't let, for me, it has nothing to do with anybody else or how I look outside the world. It's like, I just wasn't happy.
Right. I understand that.
Yeah, me too.
And what about this? What about being? So you said Latinx, right? So some people say Latina, some people say Latino, some people say Latinx. Sometimes the older folks in the Latino say Latinx. That's that young shit.
I hate it, yeah.
Yeah. What does that mean actually?
For
Latinx?
me, Latinx is just, all the genders put together. So
Right.
typically, as you know, if we are in a room with 10 women, you walk in, he's, oh, what's up, ladies? And the second a man comes in, it's like, oh, the guys, right? Like the guys. But that's probably a terrible explanation of what I'm trying to say. In Latin culture, in Latinx culture, everything is masculine gendered. So it's the same. Like if a woman, if it's a room full of women and one guy walks in, all of a sudden they're Latinos.
Right. No, that's true. My wife has been
Latinos.
teaching my daughter the Spanish, and we would say listas if it's just those two. Then my wife explained to my daughter that as soon as I enter the group, it's listos.
Correct.
Even though they outnumber me.
Correct.
So Latinx is trying to address that.
I think Latinx is just a gender neutral way of saying the group of them, because we're not all Latinos. I'm a Latina. So Latinx just includes everybody.
And so what is the challenges and successes of being a Latin woman who is also an entrepreneur and a business person?
Oh my God, so many. There have been times when fire marshals or health inspectors will come and ask for the man running the event.
No shit.
I shit you not.
That's
it's
true.
happened to me. It has happened to me on more than one occasion.
How do you respond to that?
The one guy was like, hey, where's the man? I won't say who he is because I love him, but I was like, I'm the man. What are you talking about?
You said that.
Oh, for sure I said that. We have a relationship like that. But like things like that where it's like they're looking for the man who runs the event because they can't envision or imagine that a woman runs something as massive as I run. It's pretty wild. It's kind of fun too to see people do that, that mental gymnastics to try to be like, wait, are you sure? Really? You don't work for them? I had a date one time and I was like, oh, I'm training a new employee, and I shit you not, I wish I could pull it up right now. He said, do you mean they're training you?
He
And I
really
was like,
said that.
yeah. And I was like, no, I run this event. Like, this is mine. He couldn't handle it. He was like, wait, what? He had to apologize left and right. And I was just like, this is the default. The default is that I can't run my own business.
I mean, let me ask you
Go
something.
ahead.
I mean, be honest. too.
Serious.
Do you think like that, or would you think like that? Or I'm talking about Ian subconsciously.
No. Me, personally,
Yeah, you, personally.
I'm telling you straight up, I genuinely don't think like that at all.
And I'm 55, and I do not think like that.
It will mess you up to watch it because you will never have to hear it.
Right.
Who acts like that, though?
Well,
Who thinks like that?
It's a spectrum, because I'll tell you something. With my wife, sometimes she reacts to me in a way where she's trying to defend against this machismo she's been dealing with. And I go like, hey, like, I don't know who you're talking to.
Right,
that ain't me.
Right. Oh, I'll check somebody quick, too, if they try and put that on me.
But my wife, I think through family, friends, and whatever.
Wiring, hard wiring.
Well, and also I think, when you are related to people who are Americanized at various degrees, going all the way back to the old country, you deal with all kinds of different levels of this patriarchy that, I mean, in Guatemala, I can tell you, it's a completely different style.
I understand that.
So what I'm saying is that she's encountering that at different levels, and I would imagine that Miss Cruz is probably encountering that too, although it seems crazy because in today's world, you would think that that somebody who was going on a date with her, even if it wasn't true, right, you would overshoot the mark and be like, you're obviously training these people, right, to try to make a good impression.
Right. I want to see if I can find that text message because it blew my fucking mind.
What about, well, let's just be real.
Yeah.
Have you ever been the boss of a guy who had trouble taking direction and criticism from you?
All the time.
What?
Yeah, come on. Come
All
on.
the
Don't be shy. Come
all
on.
the time, all the time. They don't like taking direction from a woman. They don't like it. They don't like it. And it's certain people, though. It's only certain people. It's not everybody. But
Right.
there's certain type of men who refuse it. And I'm like, I pay your bills. So please go pick up the trash. That's your job.
Yeah.
They hate it.
Now let me
Because
ask.
it feels emasculating, I imagine.
I don't know. But let me ask you this. Has there ever been a time?
There's
that-
no such thing as emasculating. You know
I
that,
agree
right?
with you.
Okay.
No. I agree with you.
There is no such thing
I
as that.
can
know.
imagine that's what they're thinking in their minds. Like, oh, this,
'Cause
Right.
especially because
yeah,
I'm
right,
little.
You're right.
Right.
I'm
yeah.
short. I'm little. These guys are usually bigger than me by a lot, and
I
I'm
deal with that too sometimes.
I'm having to deal with their like ego.
They're being found out. That's all.
100%. 100%.
Now,
It's wild.
let's be real. Let's stop bullshitting each other. And it's been a very good PR thing for you, Miss Cruz. But let's be real.
Ready, set, go.
All right.
Let's be real.
Let's go. What about the other way? have you ever been overreactive towards a man and it turned out he wasn't fucking doing that shit?
Oh yeah, I have actually, and yeah,
You were
I have.
on the defense.
I was
Defensive?
no, it was I was yelling at one person for something that another one did, and he was like, "Bro, this wasn't on me," and I felt like such a piece of shit because that's what we do as women. We're like, "Oh fuck, I'm so sorry," whereas sometimes I have witnessed personally, men do not apologize in the event space when they fuck up, but
Right.
women do. Like we take ownership a little bit more easily, I guess. Where we're like, "Oh shit, I'm sorry, you did
So
do the thing that I asked you to do already. My bad."
And so going back to Estevan, right, who has his own business, LA Originals Taco Truck. One of those tacos is vegan. It's fan fucking tastic.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
fantastic.
Danny
I mean,
Tr-
he's definitely a voice for vegan. For whatever his core beliefs are or is, he stands on it. He talks about it. He sticks with it. You know.
Right.
And
I've
yeah.
seen him destroy some fucking vegan dinners,
Absolutely. I mean,
cafes.
he's all about it. Danny Trejo is
Oh,
another
yeah.
one.
Oh yeah.
You know, now he's not necessarily a vegan, but he
has the options.
He has the options, and I don't think it's just with him just options that are because the market calls for it. Like
Right.
he really believes in like health and he he's one of these guys that wants everybody to eat at his spot. You know what I'm saying?
And when I was at the vegan street fair, his truck was there at her
yeah,
thing.
they have great. By the way, he has great vegan stuff.
Yeah, he
like
does.
Some mushroom tacos and just great stuff.
Yeah. He's doing good
So,
work.
Miss Cruz, on the one hand, we have some pushback in the culture from the Latin community in the sense of because their supposed diet doesn't include. But on the flip side, it seems like there's a lot of Latin people running to it and a lot of Latin food that has vegan options to it. What is what do you see going on there?
I mean, I think more people are just awakening to what's happening in the world, right? If you can have something that tastes just like a burger that's not a burger, why wouldn't you choose it, right? You can go to Carl's Jr. now and get a burger. You can go pretty much anywhere now, and there's options like we were just talking about. Trejo's makes great food. But I think that people are just resistant to change all across the board. You know, it's like I get the comment all the time where they're like, if there's no meat on that plate, it's not a, Puerto Rican dish.
I used to say that's
Yes.
why.
I used to say
If there's no meat on there, that ain't a meal. We're gonna go. I'd be at her mom's. I'd be like, "We're leaving from here to go get fucking dinner." Right?
You know what I mean?
We'd be eating Indian food, yo.
Yeah, that's the pervasive myth, or that's the
Sure.
pervasive thought process
Sure.
with vegan stuff. So I just think that because of social media, the proliferation of information, I think more and more people are becoming privy to what's happening in the world, and that there are these other options, which is really what I do for. I do it to break the stigma of what veganism is. It's not just tofu and salads. There's burgers and fries and cupcakes and things you recognize, so that it makes the transition easier for you. So I think just more people are waking up to it.
Okay, so here we are. We're sitting here with somebody who has access to pretty much all of the vegan options in LA. Really think about that. It's a lot because this is a new age motherfucking city, and there's a lot of fucking weird fuckers out here, and so it's vegan everywhere. Right? It's a Crossroads. Everybody knows. Crossroads is fucking great. Pepperoni fucking pizza if you want it. If you want. So, what for you, Miss Cruz, is the best vegan Italian in LA?
Oh, there's only one. And it is the best. And it is the only place I recommend to anybody that's coming here.
Okay, hold on, everybody, because Steve knows that he's like, dude, you gotta let that microphone breathe a little bit. And fucking run it. Let's let it breathe. Mr. and Mrs. Earbuds, you're about to hear some serious fucking food game.
Yes. Pura Vita in West Hollywood makes the best vegan Italian you will ever eat in your fucking life.
Pura Vita.
You haven't been?
I haven't been. I've heard about it though.
I promise everything. She's from Brooklyn. She's like straight Italian from Brooklyn. She knows what she's doing. The food is out of control. The ambiance is great. Sorry about that. Ambiance is incredible. The food is phenomenal. She's wonderful. The staff is great. I mean,
I'm going.
it checks every single box, I swear.
Really?
I promise you.
Pura Vida.
Pura
I'm
Vita,
going.
yeah.
West Hollywood.
And there's two. There's one in West Hollywood and there's one in Redondo Beach. Both phenomenal.
And if you are going to Mexican food, where are you going?
El Cocinero in Panorama City.
No
It's just
shit.
a pickup, but it is hands down the best Mexican you'll ever have. They do all their meats in-house, so they're using jackfruit, soy curls, seitan. They use everything under the sun there.
Is that the place? Yeah.
The place, yep.
Okay. Now, if you're falling off the wagon
Okay.
and you're saying, God damn it, I need a donut.
There's a lot of good vegan donuts out there.
Shh, this is not a laughing matter,
Okay,
Blue.
okay,
We're talking about donuts.
Yeah.
Very serious.
Where?
Not fro-nuts.
Yeah.
Donuts.
No, this is bullshit.
I love donuts.
We all do.
We're going to do a donut show. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Can I provide the donuts?
Yes.
Oh, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Okay.
That way Chuman can eat freely.
Oh, are you kidding me?
Yeah. Him and Esteban can come on and eat
I'm gonna
freely.
get like a necklace full of donuts and just eat them off the fucking necklace.
Yeah.
All right. Where is Miss Cruz going for the donut?
Okay, so this place is in Orange County, so I hope that still counts.
It does because I
Yeah.
live there. Go ahead.
Okay.
please.
Donuttery.
Donuttery.
Donuttery. They
I've
have.
been there.
You have been there. They're 24 hours. First of all, they do have a truck. They come to my weekly event, which is called Vegan Exchange, on Sundays. A little
On.
plug there.
On Sunday.
On.
Yeah.
On
This is my
Sunday.
little New Yorker. She came out. That's in Orange County. Highly recommend it. Or if you're in LA and you need it right now, Donut Friend, which I'm sure you've been to.
No, I haven't. I haven't. I don't even know the vegan. I go and get donuts at coffee shops that I know. I two coffee shops, and they have like maple vegan donuts there. So I go to those, but I've never gone like, well, where are you getting your donuts from? And where's the donut connection? You know, I haven't done that. I've never even Googled like a donut place that's vegan. So I didn't know. That's news to me.
Now, pan dulce.
Ah,
Is there vegan pan dulce?
yes, there is, and I.
Oh, she got all the answers for
Yes,
everything.
I have everything. I just forget his name because he just changed it. But he's in LA too. I'll find it for you for later. Damn it, I forgot. his
That's all
name.
right. You bring it up later. That's a bonus Easter egg for motherfuckers listening right now.
I just recently got turned on to a friend's place on Fairfax through Esteban. It's something market on Fairfax.
Extra Market.
Extra market.
See that?
Extra market.
I'm
Right?
gonna
That's the
cycle
plug
little
right there.
encyclopedia.
So I walk in there and
Encyclopedia.
somebody and Esteban's assistant hands me a chicken sandwich, a spicy chicken sandwich with a couple chicken McNuggets in it. Bro, I ate this thing standing in front. I'm like, dude, is this? I didn't know that it was a vegan place. I go, bro, this is chicken. And they're like, no. I go, bro, man, this is chicken, right? They're like, come inside, right? And I meet the owner. And he's like, have you ever had a chopped cheese sandwich? I'm like, I guess that's like the new thing in New York. I didn't know
It
about
wasn't-
chopped cheese.
I didn't know about it either. It wasn't around when I was
What the
growing
fuck
Right,
is
up
it
there.
chopped
wasn't
cheese?
either.
Yeah.
Philly cheesesteaks from
It's
Philly
Philly
and stuff like
cheese.
that, I know. But
Right.
the chopped steak. So I'm like, he goes, no, and I'm looking at the thing, and he's like, we got this, and I'm like, so I had another one of these burgers, but I had it wrapped in lettuce. It was really good, and I go, I'm gonna come back and try this chopped cheese. But I was really impressed with their chicken sandwich. I was impressed with him, and one thing he said about it, he goes, listen. He's like, a lot of these vegan places can be really scary to people, you know? And he goes, and I didn't want to do that. You don't see me putting a bunch of vegan. You don't see me putting a bunch of meat stuff. It's just like a East Coast, you walk in, it's like, it's friendly. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It isn't all veganed out and there's not all this. And just
Yeah.
like, here's the menu. That's what we do. And he goes, there's people that come in that don't even know the place is vegan. You know, they just come in and they want good food. And he kind of positioned it like that and kind of stood on it. And I like that attitude.
Right.
That he wasn't pushing it here and there. What he was pushing was really good food, you know? And so that's like, to me, a cheap place. If I'm going to go there, a cheap place. But it was really good. I just wanted to bring it up and give him a plug
I
as well.
haven't been there, so that's a plug for me to get my ass there.
Yeah.
And what
Pura
if-
Vita is.
Pura
we
Vida.
may have to all go over there.
We might have to do a show from there,
Yeah.
no,
we
you
may.
really should.
right?
It's
We should invite Cruz down, do a show
Yeah,
over there,
with
and have
her,
a bigger
and have
fucking.
her pick out all the food for us.
Right. We'll play all the
Yeah.
music, all that bullshit. Let me ask you this too, then. So, if you're ordering, first of all, I want to know this, and maybe you could tell me, why is there no vegan buffet yet? Where the fuck is that?
so back in 2012 or so,
Yeah.
there was a place in Orange County.
Yeah.
Still might be there, Healthy Junk. Do you remember that place?
I actually do, actually.
Okay, they were doing a vegan brunch
Were they?
for a minute.
But a buffet.
No, sorry, a buffet. They were doing a vegan buffet. It was like $25, all you can eat,
Yeah.
and it was pretty damn good. I don't know what happened to it.
Right. I mean, I feel like the food might be at a price point where it might not make sense.
Correct. I think it might not make sense because most, like when I used to go to buffets before I was vegan, I mean, you're looking at the
Dude.
bottom of the barrel shit. You know, that costs you nothing to make.
Listen, and that's why it tastes so fucking good.
Right.
And let me tell you something. I knew a family, all right? I knew a family that the dad and the mom would bring a portable DVD player to Golden Corral
No.
at about 11:30.
Oh my God.
They would sit down, take over an entire booth,
Okay.
eat the breakfast by watching the clumps, and then eat, take a break while they switch over to lunch, and then when they got a little bit more stomach space, hit the lunch. Almost put the joint out of business.
It's just them on their own.
On their own, portable DVD player, just sitting there, watching TV at the buffet. And the part of me is like, that's so sick.
Yes.
But the other part of me is like, that's genius.
You're like, that's sick. That's also sick.
Right. What about online? If somebody wants to order or try or kind of see some things, do you have an online, like a website that you think would be a good place for people to pick something, or they see something they might like get the fuck out, it's vegan, or like what?
Oh, yeah. I don't order from any of those, but I think they're a good resource for sure.
Right, because they've got tons and tons of vegan, like chips, cookies, other things, whatever that you can buy, pre-made meals, whatever that is, you can try that out. So
But we do have a vegan grocery store here. You know that.
what's the vegan grocery store? I don't know.
It's called Besties.
I don't know that.
100% vegan. Every single thing in the store, like candy bars,
Where is it?
cookies, East Hollywood.
Wow, Besties?
Yeah, Besties. They have soft serve too, vegan soft serve. Like the place is
Oh, that
legit.
sounds fan-fucking-tastic.
The place is legit. All frozen products, like all the meats, all the seafoods, all the everything that exists.
And now, are you able to, at this point, or ever, I don't know what I'm trying to say here, but is it possible, or was it ever possible for you to date a non-vegan?
I mostly date non-vegans.
Bullshit.
Swear.
Why?
Number one, just the type of men I'm attracted to, I guess. I don't know how that happens. I don't want to talk about veganism all the time.
You don't?
No.
What do you want to talk about?
I do it all day, every day. This is what I do. I don't want that to constantly be topic of conversation with me and my dates. So I don't look for vegans, I guess. I look for attraction, and I look for
Right.
connection and chemistry.
Right.
And they'll typically will eat vegan with me or take me to vegan places, and they're totally open and cool with it. And the ones that aren't, well, they get the fuck out real quick.
Right.
Because I don't care if you're vegan. I just care that you are not a jerk about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I see that a lot where people are like, oh, this steak is so delicious. And I'm like, you don't have to do that.
Right.
You're just being mean. You're just being mean for no reason. And you're trying to court me. This isn't going to work.
That's right.
But no, I mostly only date non-vegans, not on purpose.
So we know what Vegan Street Fair is. When is Vegan Street Fair coming up?
So Vegan Street Fair Nights is coming up October 8th and 9th. It's basically like Vegan Street Fair, but in the fall. So it's going to be a nighttime thing. It's going to have, light shows and hula hoopers and fire breathers.
That's where you should bring Quate, oh Blue Eyes.
Absolutely. I'll be there.
Yeah.
All right. So October 8th and 9th?
Correct.
Is there going to be a Halloweenish, autumnish kind of a pumpkin spice motherfucking thing going on?
There probably will be some people doing some seasonal shit.
And where will that be?
In North Hollywood at North Hollywood Park.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Awesome. And what is Vegan Exchange?
So Vegan Exchange is basically a spin-off to Vegan Street Fair. People were asking for something more regular, something weekly, because Vegan Street Fair is once a year and it takes a lot of time to plan. So we started Vegan Exchange in 2018, and it's just a smaller version of Vegan Street Fair. There's about 50 vendors at that one, 2,000 people rolled through, and that is also in North Hollywood. So we're just super North Hollywood heavy.
Got it. And then what about when is the next Vegan Street Fair happening?
So Vegan Street Fair Nights is October 8th and 9th, and then Vegan Street Fair is in March
Of 2023.
2023.
Right.
Correct.
And where can people go to learn about it?
So veganstreetfair.com, or on Instagram, it is at Vegan Street Fair. Also Vegan Exchange LA if you're looking for the little one.
Right.
Yeah, those are basically our two main
And you
places.
trademarked that name, Vegan Street Fair. I saw the little
I
TM.
sure did.
Right. It's like everybody wishes they had that now.
I still can't believe I was able to get that name
Right.
because it's
Right
so
on.
simple.
Right. Okay. And what's the Instagram for Vegan Street Fair?
So at Vegan Street Fair,
Okay.
and then the one for Vegan Exchange is at Vegan Exchange LA.
Okay. And I want to say thank you for coming in. You're an amazing person, right? You're got an excellent energy. And listen, if you're a meat eater and you're going to try to court Miss Cruz, don't be waving your steak around. All right? Nobody wants to see that.
Or your fish photos. Why do people do that?
Right.
Why? Just stop doing. Yeah, they're holding up.
Right. Yeah.
Because
Stop.
fish have feelings. I just saw, listen, I just saw two things I want to mention right now since we're on this topic. First of all, God bless Los Angeles and its weirdos because veganism is grown here. But there's an article that scientists were watching spiders sleep.
Oh.
And the spiders sleep where they're hanging from their thread, they're sleeping. They had rapid eye movement and they were moving during the sleep. And there were various biorhythms leading the scientists to think that it is probable that the spiders are dreaming.
Wow.
Second thing I'm going to say is that they've done cognitive tests on fish. They have memory. They can be trained. And so they're not just like machines in the water that just eat stupid shit. And therefore, it's okay for you to kill them.
Correct. Yes.
And this comes from an American Indian. I used to hunt all the time.
Right.
You'd probably cry if you knew all the shit I killed.
You know what though? I feel we can. You're wrapping up. I will say this really fast. We don't live that way anymore, right? Now we just commodify, and we're not hunting. It would be a completely different story if that was our lifestyle.
Let me tell you something. I've said it a million times, so Blue Eyes hates to hear it. But the truth of the matter is that the true Indian way is if you no longer have to kill it to survive, then you just are left with honoring the spirit of the animal.
See?
There you go.
There you go.
And Big Lux, anything happening for Supermax Hardware?
www.supermaxhardware.com. Come peep us out for summer collection. cookiessf.com. Gear, some good smoke, vibes, rolling papers. And that's about it. Listen to the Hard Luck Show Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays.
Is weed vegan?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead. Oh, Blue Eyes, hit us with your shit.
Are you ready to stop fucking around?
Yes.
And start putting together a podcast?
Yes.
Hit me up. Sean@movemental.media. That's it. And then also hit up. They can't see me. I'm acting like they can see me.
Doesn't matter.
Hardluckshow.com. That's right. Hardluckshow.com.
Right.
Indeed.
Do your own Lepke soundboard. Hello. All that shit. You could do it there. Jessica Cruz, the show, big old Blue Eyes.
Thank you, Jessica
right.
Cruz.
Thank you.
Right? There's a podcast
There's a
right there.
podcast right there.
I mean, the Jessica Cruz show.
All right.
That's a good
And
range.
Ovando Bowen, LLP. We wear braids to court. And I want to thank my lovely wife for suggesting meeting
Yes,
and telling us
absolutely.
about
Thanks, Sarah.
Miss Cruz. Thank you, Sarah.
Love you, Sarah.
She's the strongest and the weakest woman I know because she can work all the time, but then if she cracks her neck, she gets a headache. I don't know what the fuck that is.
And that's great. Thanks. We are out of here. Adios. Hasta la vista.